Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now, it's been a long time since I've made a video and I've not been on here for a good amount of time, aside from, you know, the videos that I have made just for memories really. Obviously I have a little girl now, and I'm guessing most of you know that if you follow me on various places, and if you don't, then I am a mum of two now, and we have little Daisy with us. That's her name. Her name is Daisy Nell Taylor, and she was born on the 21st of April 2016 at 4:46 in the morning after an incredible labour and delivery, and I'm going to go into that video soon. We are just trying to enjoy our time as a family at the moment. Daisy spent 6 weeks and 1 day in special care, and Jesus, sorry, I didn't think that I would find this video hard to do. I thought it would just be like I can update everyone and I'd just be able to talk about it, but it appears that like the tears are coming a little bit. But she spent 6 weeks and 1 day in special care, and actually visited 3 hospitals over that time, and it's been quite the journey, to be honest. I'm just really glad that we're here and now. I will go into more detail about everything when we've settled down, because obviously she's been home a week now, and that has been the best week that we've had in a very long time, because splitting yourself between 2 children is really difficult, and it's even more difficult when you just given birth. And I gave birth, and for that entire time there wasn't a day that went by that I wasn't sat in the hospital, and you know, I didn't get to do the resting or the, you know, the baby days where you just sit on the sofa and gaze at your newborn. We didn't really do any of that, and it just has been really difficult. And she has the same syndrome that I was born with, and obviously I did a video on that. I'm not sure which one it will have been. I think it might have been my 32-week pregnancy update, or it could be a little bit earlier. If I can remember, I'll try and leave it down below. But I was born with a syndrome called Stickler syndrome, or Marshall-Stickler syndrome. That's what I was diagnosed with, but it tends to be known as Stickler syndrome these days. Sorry, William's just come in and sat next to me. He's listening to, well, he's watching the iPad at the moment because Daisy is asleep, and I've been trying to catch up on some work. So you will see some videos and posts and stuff that are things where I have to catch up, and you know, that's life. I do need to crack on with things now. If I want to stay on maternity leave, then I have to keep, you know, earning pennies to keep me here, especially now I have a little girl that does require more support and care from me. But yeah, she has my syndrome, and I had those extra scans, as you might remember, and we basically got not the all clear, but every time we had a scan everyone said she was perfect, she was measuring great, her, you know, jaw looked really strong, which is a clear indicator of, you know, a baby not having my syndrome. Because part of that, and this is going to be really complex and I will go into a video in more detail, but my syndrome, if you want to have a Google, or maybe I'll leave a link down below so you can find out more about it. Part of that can include a sequence called Pierre-Robin sequence, which is 3 features, which is a small lower mandibular, which is a posh name for jaw, but I use posh names now because I'm so indoctrinated by hospital speak, you wouldn't believe it. And the second part of that is that the tongue is quite far back because the jaw is quite small and far back. So our tongues are, you know, you can stick them out. Whereas when I was born and when Daisy was born, because our jaws were so far back, our tongues were right at the back of our mouths. Now this can be problematic in babies, you know, anyway, but when you add the fact that Daisy also has the third part of Pierre Robin, which is a cleft palate, then it becomes really problematic, because the thing is, she has a hole in the roof of her mouth basically. Don't confuse a cleft palate with a cleft lip, because neither she or I had the cleft lip, it was just the palate, so that's the roof of our mouth. And what that means is that there's a hole. So for her and for me, anything that she breathes in kind of comes collectively, so it'll come through the nose and come through the mouth, but there's only one airway, there's not the two. So obviously I can close my mouth and I breathe through my nose, and I can breathe through my mouth instead, and I have those two options, and Daisy doesn't, and I didn't before I had my cleft repair. Now the problem is that babies with this sequence will often struggle to breathe, because what happens is that the tongue falls back over the main airway of the throat, and then obviously no air can get in any other way, so it blocks off the air. Her oxygen was low, and she really struggled to breathe. And I will go into more detail about everything and what happened when I feel a little bit more ready to, but she was in special care for 6 weeks, and she was meant to be coming home when she was 4 weeks old, but we had a pretty bad experience with one of the hospitals that we went to, who advised that she should have a tracheostomy as a precaution, which is the hole through the throat in your neck to be able to help you breathe, and it bypasses all of the airway here. So that would have been something that she could have had for 2 years, so I would never have heard her laugh. I would never have heard her you know, be able to speak, at least not until she was older, and then there can be specialist things fitted to aid that, but you have to request those and you don't always get them. And yeah, just the little things like I would have had to have relied on a monitor to help me know when she was crying, when she needed help, because I wouldn't be able to hear her cry. We would have had to have given her a lot of care. I would have had to have quit my job and become her carer. And there's a whole host of things. It wasn't just a decision that was for Daisy, it was for all of us, and it wasn't one that we took lightly, because it wasn't the traditional path that babies with my syndrome or this sequence go down. So we fought it, and we got a second opinion, and we won. Not that we won, it wasn't a fight that we wanted to win. If someone had said the second time around that they agreed with that first diagnosis, then we would have taken it completely, because our daughter's safety is what matters to us. But in our gut, we knew that wasn't right for Daisy, and she's home, and I wish I could show you her, but she's asleep, and I don't want to wake her up right now, because, well, you never wake a sleeping baby, and to be honest, she does have more needs than the rest of us do at the moment. She has what's called a NPA, or a nasopharyngeal tube, down her nostril, which acts as a splint, so it goes through the nostril. I'm able to fit it, as is Mark. It goes down the nostril and back to the back of the throat, and ends just around here, I would say. And what that does is it acts as a splint to stop the tongue going backwards, and it also keeps her airway clear through one of her nostrils as well. And she also has a NG tube, which is a nasogastric tube, to help her feed. So we tube feed her at the moment through a syringe, and she also is learning to take more and more by a bottle. This is really, really common with babies that have cleft palates anyway, and it is something that she will wean off in time. We're hoping that her NPA, the breathing splint tube, will come out when she's around 3 to 4 months old, like mine did, and that is typical really of when babies tend to not need it anymore, because the chin comes forward and up. So at the moment, if you look at her, you probably feel very sorry for her and think that it's much more severe than it actually is, but it's just those first few months that are really difficult. It was really difficult for me, and it was really difficult for her as a baby, and hopefully it's, you know, all on the up, and then she will have an operation when she's between 9 and 12 months old to have her cleft palate repaired. It's not what I expected, Even though I knew there was a 50% chance that this could happen. It's not what you hope for, not because I would change her in any way, but because I wish that she didn't have to go through all of this. I've seen her in an incubator, I've seen her having blood tests every day and screaming her heart out, I've seen her really poorly, and I've seen her thrive, and I've seen her at home, and that's amazing, but this is not what I bargained on. Obviously, if you followed me for any length of time, you'll know that with William, I had to go back to work when he was 8 weeks old, and that was a real challenge for me because I just wanted to stay at home with my baby and I wasn't ready, but I had to go back because I needed to earn money to survive and to live and to keep him in nappies and all of those things, and I had a responsibility to him as a mother, and I did my best. But this time around I was really hoping that I would be able to sort of heal those wounds by having a longer maternity leave with my baby girl and with him before he starts school in September. He's 4 years old tomorrow. Can you believe that? I can't. But I really thought that this was going to fix everything, and I was very wrong, and perhaps I was very naive, and I didn't think too much about the chances of her having what I had this time around. William was born and he was absolutely fine, and I just thought, you know what, it's going to be okay, and I tried not to worry about it too much. But in the end it kind of felt like the floor had been crumbling beneath me for the past 6 weeks, and I've only just managed to climb up out of the hole that I was in. I do have guilt over it because with my parents I was a genetic mutation, so there was no indication of who I developed this from and why I was born the way I was. It just happened, and it's one of those things. But as a consequence, it means that I definitely know that it was me that passed it on to Daisy. So Daisy is in this position because of me, and she's struggling because of me. And we've been all been through this because of me. It hasn't just affected her, it's affected me, it's affected Mark, it's affected Bill, who has been amazing. It's affected my family, it's affected my friends, it's affected like everything. And I am only just beginning to come out of the storm almost, you know. I'm trying to do bits of work, and I'm trying to get on top of the house, and I'm trying to, you know, get on top of the way I feel about myself again, because I'm still a person and I've still had a baby and I've got baby weight to lose, and I want to feel good about myself. But it's just like everything's been so foggy, and like trying to find my way out of that's been really hard. You know, like when I have got PRs chasing me, and you know, people messaging and asking when I'm going to be working again and doing stuff again, and people seeing if they can come and visit, or medical professionals and support teams that we have wanting to book appointments for this and come and visit us for that, and checking whether or not, you know, Daisy's okay, or am I feeling okay, have I possibly got postnatal depression, like has it hit me, all of these things. It can be very overwhelming, and I'm still, you know, she's home but we're not out of the woods yet. It's going to take a lot of time to get back into the swing of things, but my God, this is so much better than the last 6 weeks. But we are okay, and she's okay, and that is what matters. And now I've had an experience of special care, I have a huge amount of respect for every mother that goes through this and every father that goes through this, and I feel very lucky that I have come out of this with 2 children, and I would do all of this again in a heartbeat, because nothing is worth more than my babies to me. And I am only sad that, you know, I get to come out of special care with my daughter, and I know loads of parents don't, and it just really makes me realise how, you know, lucky I am, and I have to be optimistic. And if anything, I am blessed because I have a new perspective now, and my opinions on things have changed, and the things that I find hard have changed. And I suppose I can walk away from that knowing that I am gonna, you know, have that perspective and take that with me, and it will make me a stronger person, and I will hopefully not have to go through something like this again. A lot of people have asked whether or not this put us off having a third child, because that was obviously on the cards, and no, it hasn't put us off, because if that put us off, then it'd be like saying that, you know, doing myself a disservice, because I was just the same as Daisy. We're doing Daisy a disservice, like we would take her back or change her if we could, because we wouldn't. But we were never 100% certain. Thank you, sweetheart. It gave me a kiss. We were never 100% certain on whether or not we were going to have a third anyway, so it's going to be one of those things for the future, I guess. But we are coming out the other side, and I just going to be positive about it, because my family is all I ever wanted, and I'm so grateful that we're here and we live to tell the tale. So things could definitely be worse, and I will come back on and introduce you to her, and I will go through her syndrome, and if you have any questions then please leave them below. I would like to do a video about her syndrome, about Pierre Robin, about cleft palates, and being a parent and being an adult who's gone through all of this as well, because when I was in my darkest time, I was googling the shit out of everything that I could, trying to find stories, success stories, reality, trying to find out what to expect, and there wasn't enough in my opinion. So I want to make content like that, and it might not be for you, it might not be for something that, you know, you want to watch, but it might help another parent like me. And you know, I do these videos, I do reviews, I do vlogs, I do hauls, I do bits of makeup, I do babbly rambly things like this, but if I can do anything with this channel and with my blog, I want to try and help people, because I really appreciate the help that you can get online now after what we've been through, and I want to try and do something to help someone else as well. So yeah, if you do want more information for the time being, then I have done a couple of blog posts, and I've updated on Instagram mainly ever since she was born. So if you do want more background, please go on there first, because I'm not going to have time to reply to loads of comments unfortunately, because she's tube fed and we have to do lots of extra bits of care, and I have another little boy, and I don't want to spend all my time on my phone, and don't take it personally, but have a look there first. And then obviously if you do have any questions or you want to know anything at all, then let me know. I do have like exciting videos planned, like I would like to do a nursery tour, I would like to do Bill's bedroom tour, our bedroom tour, a haul of some favourites, things like that, but I'm just going to ease myself back into them. Mark's on paternity leave now for another week. He went straight back after she was born pretty much to save time so we could have it all together when she was home from hospital, and I'm so glad that we did, because we were able to have our own little baby moon period almost, where we just retreat into those days that we were hoping for, and we've just been having time as a family, and it's been brilliant. So I'm going to enjoy this next week, and I'm not going to overdo it, and then when he gets back into work and I'm in a routine of being a mum of 2 at home, then I will try and get back into the swing of things properly. And I'm sorry this is such a rambly video, but I just wanted to come on and say something and say thank you. If you are a family member like my mum and dad and my grandparents and my aunties and my uncles and my friends, and you know, people that just follow me or that just stumbled across me and wanted to reach out, or new friends, people go through a similar thing to me, like, thank you so much for being there. Like, I'll never be able to reply, and not for a long time at least, and I just want to say thank you, because I don't think I could have done this without you, because you just realise how much you need that support sometimes. You need to pick me up, you need a smile, you need someone to understand, and so many of you came through for me in ways that I never thought you could. And thank you to my little boy who has been the best big brother I could have ever have asked for. I was talking to him earlier and I said, talking to him about his birthday and saying, I can't believe you're 4 tomorrow. You made me a mummy and I love you so much. And he replied to me and said, well, you made me a big brother, so I love you so much. And you know, I would take all of this again in a heartbeat if it meant I had my kids and my family and all of you. So thank you. I'm gonna stop crying now because this is ridiculous, isn't it? But yeah, thank you so much, and I will see you soon, hopefully. And I will bring that little girl to show you, I promise, when she's awake, and you can tell her how lovely she looks in her tubes, because I think she looks pretty lovely. So I will see you next time, and thank you so much for watching, and take care of yourselves, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye.